Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share these videos out to anybody you know that's looking for a tool like whatever we're talking about today. And let's get into it. So, anyway, I have my little Festool ETS EC 155/5 up here today. And this sander is a random orbital sander. So you might have seen a lot of models similar to this kind of thing. You know, DeWalt makes them, Makita makes them, all this. But the anti-vibration, the stability, the nice sanding finish you get from these is not even in the same realm of ballpark there, okay? So you owe it to yourself to try one of these if you do very much sanding, because as we all know, sanding is one thing we really don't like spending so much time on every project. Seems like every project has a ton of sanding in it. So get something you enjoy and can, you know, have fun with. There is a lot more entry-level price sander from them than this. The ETS 125, I think. There might even be a 150 over there in the cheaper price range. It's a lot, you know, bigger sander and all. But this is their real nice little palm one that's pretty similar to an air style sander. You have your power button right here on the front. Now the vac's got to turn off, but I'm running this today on my Festool CT Sys vac, and I've got it sitting on a Festool Sys cart, which the Sys cart is really nice with the CT Sys vac, because now I've turned it into a regular CT with wheels, and it can roll around and follow me around the job site. And to be honest, with these giant wheels that this cart has, it rolls better even than my MIDI or my 26 or any of that stuff when I'm pulling it around. So if you're doing little sanding touch-ups, little touching up on doors, whatever, this thing will just chase you all through the house, and it's just fantastic. Anyway, I run the Festool Granat paper. You can tell with the blue. It's not the Reuben or something. They do brown, I think, for that, different colors, but the blue Granat, and then I have Granat net also. If I'm sanding anything with, you know, like sheetrock and stuff, if I have to touch up with it, I really like the net. It seems to really pick up the finer particles a lot better. So when on sheetrock particularly, if you're doing wood, I really don't see much of a difference in the two as far as the dust collection. They're both fantastic. Now, the reason I went with the 5mm is because it has a little bit more aggressive removal with the stroke. It's a 3mm stroke and a 5mm that they offer with this. So if you go with the 3mm, you're going to have a lot better performance with really finer grits. Like anything smaller than a 220. Your 300 range, your 400, 500 range is going to work a lot better in the 3mm stroke. Now, with the 5mm stroke, I see increased performance, you know, south of 80 grit. So if I'm going down to 60s, 40s, 26s, if I'm running sapphire paper, that kind of stuff, or stripping something, it's going to be a lot more effective to have the larger stroke, since the grains on the paper are so much larger. You need those grains to actually move enough to remove material. So anywhere in that range between 80 and 220, both sanders to me performed almost the same. This one still strips a little quicker no matter what grit you put on it, so that's why I went with this. We had some interesting jobs pop up where had a assisted living home with a wood floor, had a really dark wood floor with a very hard lacquer finish on it, and they wanted us to come in, remove the finish, and then try to remove the stain from the highlights of the wood, the parts that were sticking up because it had a rough finish. Ended up absolutely beautiful. There's some pictures, I think, on my Facebook page, but great sander for that. We basically lived on this thing for about a solid week, getting everything touched up. Between this and the RO90 for the corners and everything, just ended up doing a spectacular job. But I've got a piece of old pallet wood here that's pretty ruggedy looking. I'm going to hit it with the sander real quick, and then I'm going to show you the difference between where I sanded and where I didn't. This is just grungy wood, so a little bit of pine. We'll hit it with some of this 80 and show you. You can see this end, that's what the wood looks like, and then I sanded down the rest of it. you know, not scientific test, but it's a very quick little sander. It does a beautiful job. Leaves an amazing finish every time I've used it. It's just a dream in my hand. So much lighter and everything to run, you know, than a Rotex and those others. So it's my kind of my go-to once I get the main stripping portion done. If I don't need that Rotex mode, then I'll get on to this sander pretty quickly because, you know, it's just easier on my hand, easier on my ears. Everything about it is pretty mild compared. Your vacuum is probably almost as loud as the sander in this case. So anyway, great little sander. I highly recommend it if you need one that's kind of next level beyond where you're using a Rotex for both your random orbit and your stripping needs. Because the Rotex is kind of an off-balance sander and everything. It's great for what it does, but once you get it stripped and you're prepped, and if you can afford it, adding one of these type of sanders to your arsenal is just fantastic. It will really make your finishing portion of your project a lot more enjoyable. But thank y'all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next video.